Hi, thanks for joining us. Janae and I are back for conversations on health, happiness, and hope. Janae, do you want to say what we're going to talk about a little?
No problem. Yeah, so I think we are coming to the end of the April is National Stress Awareness Month. So I think we kind of touched base a little bit in the last time we were talking about self-care. And so I think today we were just kind of chat about self-care practices and things we can do to help us manage stress because, stress is natural. I mean, it takes stress literally to excite your body, to get you up, to get you out of bed, to move you. But then there's definitely, bad stress, which then does the absolute opposite, which makes you not want to get out of bed or do anything. So yeah, so that's what we're talking about today.
Agreed. Thanks, Janae. Oh, did I just hear an echo? Okay.
I don't hear an echo. It might be the birds in the background. There's a little slight delay.
Slight delay. Okay, well, we can deal with that. Um, so, speaking of stress, yesterday was the last day of my psychoactive drugs class, and I felt fine mentally because I've learned a lot of coping strategies, but my body was obviously very stressed because I had some insomnia, I was losing focus, and I was just getting very sleepy. It was really challenging to keep up. So I realized that I was no longer doing my wind down routine for bed, which is, something of self care for me, is either coloring or journaling while watching this beautiful um, meditation for the eyes, is what it's called, moving art. And then I would, sip on hot tea, and
Mhm.
I would do this for like 30 minutes or so before bed and feel relaxed, and then listen to a meditation as I'm falling asleep. And because I've been so busy with this class, I would work, and then I would do my schoolwork, have dinner, come back to my schoolwork, and do that all the way up until bed. So there was none of that downtime to relax a little and just have some me time so I can be calm to go to sleep.
Yeah, and that's, I recently also came off a really stressful time just at work and everything. Just there was a huge learning curve and a lot going on in our studies at this point in the trial. And now we're kind of in a lull, at least for me. My
Mhm.
portion has kind of slowed down a little bit, which is good. It's really good. Um, but at the same time, I have a hard time when I'm not go all the time, feeling
Yeah.
like I'm not doing something, and it's really hard. Um, so I start having like feelings of stress and guilt, and I went to this week the same thing. I felt like I was emotionally okay, but my body was not. I had gone to, my yearly gyno visit, and I've had, I'm in perimenopause and I've got Hashimoto's, which the two of those are crazy. But then I also have fibroids,
Mm.
which, they're really kind of annoying. And but they were small enough that it was not an issue. And then this time during my exam, she said that my uterus felt at least 3 weeks, 12 weeks pregnant.
Oh.
So I have to have a sonogram. And so, like in my mind, I was thinking, oh, I mean, that's just normal. You have estrogen, your fibroids grow because of that. I mean, they're not
Mhm.
babies, but they do take up space and energy and blood and food really to be fed. They're um, non-cancerous tumors. So
Mm.
they take all of that energy. Um, but I guess my body was like, no, so I was just tired all week, um,
Oh.
and ended up with a UTI, which is
Mm.
really interesting for me because I haven't had one in like forever. And I totally know it's stress. It was
Yeah.
stress induced because, um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I mean, I kept going with my workouts and my walking every day and trying not to overdo it. I did switch the workout routine I'm doing to a PCOS workout,
Oh,
which is
okay.
more of a low impact type of thing, and where you're not doing as much like heavy, you're not doing a lot of sit-ups and stuff like that, which I feel like that was irritating me and making me
Mhm.
even more tired, which I didn't realize until after I had that exam that maybe that's why my workouts were just not being effective anymore. I was
Mhm.
stressing my body out. So, yeah. Um, have you gone back to doing your 30-minute at night routine yet?
Yes. Only 10 minutes right now.
Okay.
Um, and that felt good. I hope that everything works out with the fibroids. That was actually something new for me. I wasn't sure what fibroids were, and then you were explaining it. Um, and yeah, UTI. I've had a couple of those now. They say you get one the first time, it's easier to get them afterward. And I
Mhm.
agree, it's definitely related to stress. So I hope that, everything gets taken care of there and that fatigue goes away and you have some relief. And thank goodness you figured out what type of exercise is going to really help you right now and what one's actually not so great for you. Um, but yeah, you might recall that I used to go to 9 round cardio kickboxing.
Mhm.
And when I was a member there, I was so proud of myself because I started going 3 days a week, occasionally
Oh,
four.
nice.
Um, and then when things were happening with work and a close loss in the family, and then COVID, I definitely fell out of the habit. um, and then the gym actually closed in 2021, I want to say.
Yes.
But I did get a wrecking ball punching bag. And for anyone who doesn't know what that
Okay.
is, it is a large round one. It's like, I don't know, I want to say 2 to 3 feet in diameter. So that was one of my favorite things, other than the MMA bag at a 9 round, which was a narrow horizontal bag. So
Mhm.
I got the wrecking ball bag because I thought it would be the most diverse for me, and that is what I started doing again. I might start doing it in the mornings too, or on my lunch breaks, but due to my current schedule, I've just been doing it like 30 minutes before bed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the kickboxing. Yeah, um I used to do that, but when I was younger and I didn't go to a gym or anything, I would just do it, at home. So I wrote down that wrecking ball bag to
Yes,
check
it's
that
so
out.
much fun. It's so
Yeah,
much
that
fun.
was fun to work with.
Yeah, because you can look it up and it will tell you like at what level or height to hang it.
Mhm.
But you can do like jab hook crosses, and you can do like uppercuts from beneath. You can squat with it. You can hit it with your legs. You can do regular kicks. I probably won't be doing many kicks now that I had the surgery because
Right.
um, my toenails, they did say that I had micro trauma in them, so that may have led to that as well. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, maybe just the roundhouse kicks on the side, maybe, or just like the flat
Mhm.
kicks.
Right. Or
Um,
air kicks. You could do air
Air
kicks
kicks, yes,
with,
thank
yeah.
you.
I
That's a
used
good
to love
idea.
those. Those were like my favorite. I used to feel like I was, I don't know, Trinity or something.
That's cute. Um,
So another thing that I am looking into because um I had stopped, I don't know if I told you, I'd stopped doing like my floats and my massages once a month.
you did not.
Um oh yeah, because it was too far away. It's just because I
Mhm.
moved, out to this beautiful country, but I am like 2 hours away from civilization. So or at least that part of civilization anyway. And but I found a local someone in the area to do my massages again, which is great. She's excellent and she works out of a chiropractic office. So I feel like she's very every time I go in, she was like, "What were you doing this week?" Or, she's
Mhm.
very in tune. And one of the things she said to me was like, "Do you sit a lot?" And I'm like, "Yes, um, I have a desk job and I work from home, but it's mostly at my desk." And I said, "I do, walk and work out." And she's like, "You have really, really tight hamstrings." And
Mm.
so I was thinking about, what was I doing? Because, I've been working in the office for many years now.
Yeah.
Um, what was I doing before? And the one thing that we did have when I was working in a building was we had standing desks. So we could raise our
Mhm.
desk and we could stand. And I would do that, every other hour for about 30 minutes or so. So but this time what I want to do at home is I want to get a walking pad that
Yeah.
goes underneath your desk and it's very portable so you can like move it around and
Mhm.
then raise my desk up so that I could stand and walk, like while we're in meetings or if I'm just doing some spreadsheet work or something like that. And I think that will help with the blood flow. And I think
Mhm.
also with some of the stress, because, sometimes when work gets stressful and there's no one to like vent to because you're home by yourself, maybe that little walking will help.
Yeah. Definitely hope so. I also have a standing desk, and I've also thought about getting one of those like walking pads because one of my colleagues has those and she does it during her meetings. It's like, oh, so inspiring. And
Also,
I'm just going to check real quickly since this is the first time we're doing this from StreamYard to make sure that we are in fact in the group
oh,
since
okay.
this does not record um, our sessions, and I think we're doing a great job. Yes, it is in the group. Yay, I can see us. Okay. Thanks for that.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, we are here. I should check in. That might be too weird. I have it on both places one time.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
so wrecking ball, walking pad. I like that. Do you like your standing desk?
I do. Now my friend has like one of the really fancy ones where like you push a button and it raises for you or it lowers for you. I have
Right.
this great like kind of a tool type desk that Chris got for me because when he got me that digital art pad, this thing is like a
Mhm.
giant monitor that's heavy, so it needs support with the arm and everything. So I have a desk that I absolutely am not going to change. But I have this raising surface where it's just like a hand clamp. And then I
Okay.
can raise it this way with my arms and I can lower it back down.
Oh,
So
very
that's what I
cool.
use.
That's neat. Yeah, I like that. I like that because that's probably what I'll have to do with mine. I don't know that I want to replace my desk either.
Hmm.
But yeah, that one kind of just goes on top of it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you raise it up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like right now I've got like I have like crates and different things that I use and I just elevate things and stand as I need to. But definitely if I had the one that automatically raises, I'd be more inclined to do it than having to like, set up a whole system to
Yeah,
stand up.
definitely.
Yeah. So,
That's that's very
yeah.
nice.
There are, I was thinking about some self-care things, like self-care things that I started doing. I tried for the very first time oil pulling
Ah,
for my teeth, which I've never tried before. It was really interesting. Um, so we'll see how it goes. Today was my first day doing it, and I used extra virgin olive oil um because my coconut oil, it wasn't in a liquid form. So
okay.
but I guess I could try it even if it's not in a liquid form. I don't know if you've ever tried that before, but I've been reading a lot about it.
I did when I just had like a regular tub. It was maybe 5 years ago when coconut oil was the thing, like for
Mhm.
everything. I was using it as like lotion on my legs because they would get so dry
Mhm.
and itchy. And then I just stopped entirely. There were a bunch of articles that were, is it good for you? Is it bad for you because of all the fat? Um, but I think, there's probably something to it because I did feel like my teeth were pretty clean when I did that. It's really
Mhm.
hard for me to have floss because I got a lot of crowding in a small mouth.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if you've seen Lenka Kristek in the group at all with her Tao Face Yoga. But she recently posted about the oil pulling and like the
Okay.
jade rollers, which I have a jade roller. I'm like, thank you. I forgot all about that. That does feel really good, and reduces the inflammation. So yeah, let me know how
Okay, I'll have to try that. A
the
cheek
oil
roller.
peeling goes.
I'll have to look for that post. I didn't see it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Anything de-stress. I feel like a lot of times, I mean, our whole bodies hold stress in different ways, but
Hmm.
sometimes our jaw can really hold our stress, and then like it'll
Yeah.
come out as we're sleeping because we're grinding our teeth, or we notice we're like
Mhm.
clamping down. And whenever I notice I'm doing that, I buy myself gum so that I can chew, have something to chew on so that I'm not clamping down on my teeth, but it can be hard. I don't know. That's just,
Yeah.
I find that um I think dental care and facial care sometimes, I mean, many women like put on makeup and stuff like that, but actual just like facial care, like just
Mhm.
taking time to wash your face and um just like you were saying, do the cheek rubbing and,
Yeah.
just really taking care of your oral care. We don't necessarily think of that as like a self-care, self-soothing process, but it could be, it should be
Yeah.
such an important part of us.
Mhm. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I always feel like when I do all of my steps, like because sometimes you're in a rush when you're doing your skincare, and I rarely wear makeup. I want to get back into it because my friend is super talented and does amazing jobs, and it always inspires me. And my grandpa is calling. um, I'll have to let him know. He probably got his books. um, Always answer his call. What was I saying?
You're gonna feel guilty now.
I know.
But my sister did too, and I'm like, well, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit, few more minutes.
Yeah. Um, Sorry, Grandpa. I love you to pieces. Face wash and lotion. Yes. So I have a four-step process from the dermatologist. Because when COVID first started, I was breaking out from wearing the mask. And I also had inflammation. Um, and I was having a lot of troubles. Like my face did not look like my face.
Yeah.
So now I have a four-step process, and occasionally I will just do two steps. And when I do all four, it's just like, oh, I feel so good. My skin's so
Good.
soft, and I'm just taking that time because you wash it, you rinse it, you pat it dry, then you do your next step, and you're giving each step its respect, its time, And it's just some time that you're not worrying about anything else at the moment. You're just mindful in that moment. Mindfulness, yes, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful technique for self care.
Yes, I like that. Yeah. And even like you were saying, like you just go through, it's kind of rushing, and like I have dry skin, so I usually lotion my body every day, and it's like slap it on, okay, go get dressed, go do something. But um it always feels good when I just take the time to just really, give myself like a mini massage while I'm doing that, or just really take the time to be like, oh, my arms, they feel strong today, or stretch while I'm doing it, just to, like you said, it's part of that kind of mindfulness, being aware of your body and in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
Um, that really does help. All those little things that um, you don't realize actually help you until you stop doing them. And then you're like, why am I so stressed out? Why am I so sore and I'm so tired? Um, all these little things that we do, and I find that to be the way with a lot of homeopathic things, or,
Mhm.
you don't realize how much they're helping you until you stop doing it, because
Yeah.
like the evidence is not necessarily so like plain out in the open. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's the subtle, almost effortless things that make such a big difference. Is that what you would agree with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yep. Yeah. It doesn't have to be, the big, sometimes we think of, oh, well, self-care. It's like, oh, I want to go get a pedicure or a manicure and my
Hmm.
eyebrows done and all of that stuff. And that's great too. I go and get my pedicure and manicures and all of that stuff. That's good self-care as well. But those are maybe, I mean, for those of us who are able, once a week, not me, you know, not me, but maybe once a month, or, um, once every few weeks. But it's those things that we do every day that really matter. And it's the consistency that matters more than the amount of what we're doing. And that's what I'm trying to work on right now, is the consistency of things. Even
Hmm.
with like the walking and the working out, and it's just trying to be consistent. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, you did wonderful with that with your Monday walking for weight loss videos in your group. Um, is it Stronger Every Day 1111?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
And it's not always Monday. I don't even think I did one this week. I tried to do it and the video didn't work, and I'm like, you know what? I'll wait till next week.
Well,
But
I
yeah, I
knew
tried
the
to do it
intention
Monday.
was Monday.
Yes, that's right. The intention was
The
Monday.
intention was Monday.
That's it, guys. Started off. So maybe this week I'll go back to being on Monday. It was easier when I was doing it live instead of recording a
Mhm.
video and then uploading it. But then I couldn't download the live and put it somewhere else. So then I
Oh,
started
okay.
recording the video so that I could upload it to like YouTube and to Facebook. So, um, yeah, I might have to revisit that. I like the going live because it's just kind of spontaneous and in the moment, and
Yeah,
yeah, you're just kind of talking, and yeah.
yeah. And last time I was able to take our live and download it and then send it out. So hopefully that will work this time too.
Yeah.
Um, and then something else I wanted to point out, because this is definitely something that I've talked about with, my friends, my counselor, some family, was when I was realizing, you know what, I have this demanding course that I'm in. Um, I love my work, but that's a responsibility too. Something else is missing. It's been winter. I haven't been going outside like I want to.
Mhm.
And when the sun started coming out and I was waking up with the birds every day and starting to see the flowers coming out, I was like, yes, this is also something that's going to help, is just going outside every
Yes.
day like I'm used to. Because, you're getting that vitamin D, you have that fresh air. Again, it's time for it's an opportunity for the mindfulness, um, can reflect, have this fantastic swing that Chris built me last year,
Yes.
and I'm really looking forward to it because all I've done so far this year is go out there and study on the swing. But it will be nice to be out there in the fresh air. And my counselor always tells me, "Go outside. It's a great place to be." I'm like, you know what? It
Right.
is. And I
It
actually
is.
said that the other day, and I was like, "Oh, Joe's in my head."
Oh, yes, yeah, getting some outdoor time every day is so important. I find it like even if it's just coming out on the front porch or on my deck with my morning drink or whatever it is and just looking at the trees for a little bit. I mean, I have to be outside every day because I've got the chickens in the garden, but
Mhm.
going out there purposely not to work, but just to be is really important as well.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I like about walking is that it gets
Mhm.
me outdoors. So I am looking forward to doing that more often. Like, I'm glad that I was able to make it this whole week and walk every single day.
That's amazing.
Which was really great. Yeah. A little bit. I was so tired the other day. I did 2 miles. It took me 43 minutes. I don't think I've ever taken that long to do 2 miles before, but I did it. I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. You did it.
I was gonna
Just
say, you did it. The only time I've done something like that was when I was forced to in high school. Well, I did do Relay for Life with my cousins though, so but I was just walking. But yeah.
Oh, goodness. But you kickbox, so that's
Yep.
also
Yes, bringing that back. And you used
yeah.
to. So.
Yeah. I have to get a bag and then we'll have to do a session one day where we're like, you're teaching me how to do it.
All right. I'll have to give credit to Derek and Elisa from 9 Round because I learned from them.
Okay.
My form might be a little off because it's been a long time. But yeah,
Right.
it's fun. It's a good workout.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Um,
So,
Trying to see if there's anything else I'd like to add. So something that I was thinking of was energy levels. We were both talking about how we've been pretty fatigued recently, and
mhm,
it's difficult to just keep up with our regular routines. So something that I want to emphasize is to know your energy level, what it allows
mhm,
you to do at that time, so um, you can choose the right self care activity for you during that time.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
thanks for bearing with me because again, I woke up early.
Oh, no, no, not at all.
But like
Yeah, so
exercise, that's a higher energy thing unless maybe you're just walking. But
yeah.
like just going outside, that's lower energy. Same
Mhm.
with like journaling or coloring or taking a
Yeah.
bath. That's lower energy.
Mhm.
So just wanted to
Yeah,
leave that there.
and all of those things are important, like, for instance, taking a bath,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something like my counselor and I talk about, and she was like, "Why don't you just go take a bath?" And I've got all this stuff for my baths, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I never take a bath. I'll go take a shower, and I will. I mean, I won't say never take a bath, but it's like I have to like work myself up to go
Yeah.
take a bath. And she was like, "We need to write about why that is." And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I wrote about was that, it feels like I'm putting too much work into relaxing.
Oh,
So that's when I
okay.
started going for the floats. But really, it's not that big. You turn the water on, throw your Epsom salt in there, and then you get in. It's really not that big of a deal. It's just, yeah, like I guess we all have our hangups, and I guess for me, it's almost just like, should I really be spending this much time doing this?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
but that, yeah.
understandable. Yeah. Because it's kind of
Uh,
like even when we're talking about doing hobbies, we feel like maybe if it's not a productive hobby, that we're
mhm.
wasting our time and pulling it away from a responsibility. But you've mentioned your floats twice now. For those who aren't as familiar with that,
Okay.
can you briefly explain what that is?
Yes, excuse me, I have a little itch, the pollen. Um,
No
so
worries.
that is, you go, so I go to a place called, where I've been going is Float Horizon. And basically it's like a little bit warmer than room temperature water. So it's not like hot, like a bubble bath or anything, or a steam bath. And you're in a tub, but it's big. It's, I could stretch my arms all the way out and my feet all the way out and still have room.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's filled with really good Epsom salts and mineral salts and things like that, so that you get in and you float. So it's kind of like, when you're thinking about like the Dead Sea, because there's so much salt in there.
Yeah.
And the idea of that is that it gives you zero gravity. So there's absolutely no stress on your body. Like one of the reasons why it's good to go swimming and get in and float in the pool is because you get that weightlessness, which takes all the stress off of your muscles. But
Mhm.
you still have to physically keep yourself afloat when you're in a pool. But this way, you completely are weightless,
Wow.
and you're in there. I usually do mine for about an hour, and I just close my eyes and float. And for the first 5 minutes, there's music, and the last 5 minutes, there's music. But in between that time, I just use that time to meditate, um, or I pray, or anything but think about anything that stresses me out. So, and
There you
um,
go.
and then I would couple that with a massage either before or after. And then so it was a good 2 hour block of time, and I would go in with an intention, like today I am going to meditate and focus on gratitude and prosperity, or like whatever it is, but I would use that as a meditation time. And it was just
Mhm.
really good mentally, but then also physically, you are decreasing inflammation, and it's really good for your limbic system. And then the Epsom salts, they pull out toxins and things from your body. And then the place I went to, I really like because they're very clean, and they use a UV system to clean the water in between. And so, um, in between each session, before somebody else goes in, they UV light it, refresh everything, and then somebody can go in. It's like a half an hour process. So um, I really like them, because you want to make sure that when you're going to places like that, that they're
It's
also being
clean.
hygienic, because then it totally, what's the word? Belies. That's not the right word, but like it does the opposite effect if you're not going somewhere that, is, um, being hygienic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank
So
you for that thorough explanation because I've only ever seen like an image of a float or like an ad for
mhm.
a float. And I didn't even know about the music in the beginning or the end, if like all of them do that, because I've only heard of the sensory deprivation salt floats.
Mhm. Right.
So that
And
was new
they
to
do,
me.
yeah, they do have one of those. They have one that's like a pod, and so it
Mhm.
closes. But I haven't done that one. I'm a little bit claustrophobic, and I don't know that that would work for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I wasn't too keen on the idea of total sensory deprivation.
Mhm.
The lights do go off, and it is dark, and but you're still hearing the sound of the water and the movements of your limbs. the really cool thing that happens when you're doing it is you, especially the more you do it, your body and the water starts to move without you moving your body, just because there's so much energy there.
Yeah.
And your arms will float out in certain ways, and your legs, and um, you get like kind of like stretches that you wouldn't normally do, and you're not physically making yourself do these things. It's just the energy around you, and it's all natural, and it really is amazing. It takes the woo-woo out of some of that energy work and brings it down to actual science. Like, this happens. Um, just like if you were in the pool and you were able to be completely weightless, the water would move you. So, yeah.
I may have to check this out. And I wouldn't want to pod either. That I think that would make me uncomfortable.
Yes. I think my sister did it when she came to visit, but she left the door open, like the top, the lid open. She didn't let it go all the way down. So yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't let the lid go down at all.
Well, it's good to know that we have those options.
Yes,
The
I mean, and
moderation.
then yeah, and then when you say that, that's like the first thing I do. Like, even when I go to a massage, I always go there with a meditation intention, and the first thing is just a brief prayer of how grateful I am that I'm in a situation where I can do this, that I can go someplace to have someone do this work on me, that, we do live in, a relatively free enough society that this isn't even an option for us,
Mhm.
So I always go in first with gratitude.
That's good. I always end my day with gratitude.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I usually think of it throughout the day, but I do the standard magic rock practice at night. So that's what I mean by ending the day.
Oh, nice. You have to tell us about that.
Yeah. Um, I feel like I'm mentioning so many things right now, but it's because I've
Right.
learned from so many places. Rhonda Byrne's The Magic is a 28-day gratitude practice book, if I remember correctly, 28 days. And one of the practices is called the Magic Rock. And you take a rock that means something to you. For me, I use a pink quartz um, heart pendant from my late maternal grandpa. And I hold that in my hand every night and I say, thank you for the very best thing that happened during the day. And I used to be good at doing just the one thing, like the book says. And now it's like three, four, five, because, gratitude breeds gratitude.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
uh,
that's awesome. That's really cool because that kind of goes along with something that I'm working on, because I'm doing like a kind of spur of the moment 30-day challenge um
cool.
in my group, where it's like what I'm doing now, what I've been practicing for the past 2 weeks is 20-minute workout a day plus either 30 minutes of walking or 16 or 6,000 steps a day.
You are so
Um
amazing, Janae.
and 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 it's like just to like keep the body moving. And so I think I'm going to start that on Monday. I was supposed to go live yesterday, but things happened. So I'll go live today and explain it. But one of the things is at the end of the day, write down the best thing that happened to you that day. So I think that's really cool that you mentioned that. I feel like it's confirmation.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, thank you so much for mentioning that. Best of luck with your challenge. Um, we will have to come up with a way to let each other know when we're ready to wrap up. But are you good to
yeah,
wrap
I
up?
know.
All right.
Like,
So this will stay live in the group. I will download the video and share it with you so you can share it with your group. And then hopefully we'll be putting it on YouTube and being able to share the link. And yeah, just keep in mind for those watching, either live or on the replay, how to choose the right self care activities for you and the way that you're feeling, and to help you get through the stress, especially as we're wrapping up the National Stress Awareness Month.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and stay inspired.
Stay inspired.